Good day, welcome to Nation's Voice Tower. My name is Angelo, your uncle. I want to go straight to the point, so we'll talk of something very, very important. I told you I've been doing lots of digging about the Ministry of Communication and Digital Economy. I brought an expose few hours ago about the former Minister of Information, Issa Pantami. Now, I delved into the ministry and got facts through and established through my sources, and I saw that lots of directors in that ministry and PAM secretaries are involved in the fraud that their former boss and minister was into. Now, who am I talking about in this ministry? One Mrs. or Dr. Mrs. Marianne Nonye Nwachukwu. This woman was the former director, now PAMSEC. She's now the permanent secretary of the Ministry of Communication, but she was the former director of finance and accounts in the same Ministry of Communication and Digital Economy. Now, it was alleged, according to our sources, that she directed the account department to pay a sum of 700 million to her account. All right, now listen to this particular expose very, very carefully. She then used these huge sums of money to pay for her children's school fees in the UK and buying them flight tickets and other personal stuff, according to our source. She also directed the account department to pay the sum of 120 million using her Zenith bank account, with account number 21171454428. Now, this particular Zenith bank account has been deactivated when the investigation began. She deactivated it because she actually has a grip and connection in the banking sector. She deactivated her Zenith bank account. Now, this 120 million was allegedly paid for a house located at number 4 Ottawa Street, Efab Estate, Gwarimpa Extension in Abuja. Now, over time, when the EFCC got a petition against her, instead of investigating her, they turned her to an ATM machine and started collecting millions of naira from her so that that particular case would be made to die down. That was what the EFCC did, and they have been extorting her of money till date. She is presently the permanent secretary in the Ministry of Communications and Digital Economy. Now, when I went online and tried to get access in a particular website that I normally use to view information, I went to get access about her and about the case ongoing. I noticed that her records were deleted from that particular platform. That means there is really something fishy into this. Her Zenith bank account has been deactivated. Her Zenith bank account has been deactivated, and then her records have been wiped out from where it is supposed to be or where it was, having the fraud cases linked to her, having all the money cases linked to her. The records are no longer there, as you can see on your screen. So we'll continue to investigate, but this is what is happening, or this is what happened in the Ministry of Communications, and we will put our eyes to the ground to bring these people to book. Now, secondly, Barrister Mike Ezekome, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, has bemoaned the increment of the salaries of judges, all right, citing that some judges live on corruption. This man spoke bitterly in a particular gathering and said he reiterated his intentions, and he actually suggested to the federal government to please make salaries of judges very, very lucrative, and he actually urged the federal government to increase the salaries of judges so that they would have the courage and they will be in a comfortable state to reject any sort of corruption or fraud or bribe from any other person because they are earning more. But he is trying to say that because the judges are not earning much, at least their salaries are just over 500,000 naira, because they are not earning much, they tend to look away their salaries and then look into people who come to them for bribes. According to him, he said lots of judges have wives to take care of, houses to pay, children to take care of, and so on. So he thereby urged the federal government to make an increment of judges' salaries in order to enhance a very stable way of of emancipation, or let me say a very stable way of delivering of justice, and not submerging or subverting justice. So watch Mike Ezekome while he made that call on the federal government.
Has to do with the issue of remuneration of judges. Judges are human beings like us. They live in the society. They live with us. They partake of the daily sufferings we all go through. But they remain the judices. They are to deliver justice. Justice which is said to be rooted in confidence. Now, Billy Graham once told us, if you lose wealth, you have lost nothing. If you lose health, you have lost something. But if you lose character, you have lost everything. How does the society help judges to maintain this character? Judges of high courts and federal high court, their salary is just a little over 500,000 naira. Our local government chairman, that is not enough for them to fuel their convoy of cars in a month. Yet this judge has a wife or wives. He has children. They go to the same market. They go to the same school. You are paying a judge of a high court or federal high court that you want to deliver pure and undiluted justice, a miserly pittance salary of 500,000 naira plus in a month, and when he retires, he has no hope of going to any house. You want him to retire to become a tenant amongst people whose family members he may have tried and jailed. Come on, can we put on our thinking caps to know that neither Archangel Michael nor Angel Gabriel will come down to judge our cases? The beginning and the end of it all is that it is garbage in, garbage out. It's what you put in, that's what you take out. So do this set of Nigerians very well. Every other thing we follow, like in the Bible. Seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and every other thing shall follow. Thank you.
All right, I suppose you've heard it from Mike Ezekome there. Yeah, well, I would say it's the truth, but judges should actually be content with what they have as at right now, because if their salaries are increased right now, that means they will be forced to sway judgment in the way of somebody. All right, but I would urge that their salaries, even if it's going to be increased, it should be increased after the Presidential Petitions Tribunal, so that we will know where our problems are coming from. But over 500,000 naira for judges, I think is fair. If you ask me, it's quite fair, a bit. Yeah, but there should be an increment, because they are actually at the hem of affairs where justice needs to be delivered. So I think people like security operatives and judges should have bigger wages compared to what they receive now, in my own opinion, though. Now, finally, Justice Mary Odili, in a speech that had to commemorate, or a speech during the occasion that commemorated the 25 years in service of the NBA of Chief Gazama, Chief J. Carey Gazama, 25 years in serving the NBA, and there were lots of guest speakers, but Justice Mary Odili, one of the guest speakers, in a speech has called on the judges, especially those in charge of the Presidential Tribunal, and she called on them to please and do anything in their power not to subvert justice. She said, with the ongoing issues in Nigeria, She urges the judges to please do anything they can not to subvert justice, because if they do, they will be unleashing chaos on the country. She, on the other hand, urged anyone who is involved in the tribunal and who didn't or who doesn't finally get his favorable judgment to please take his grievances at heart and carry on with his normal activities. This was the admonishment by Justice Mary Odili. Well, if you ask me, I will give you my take after this video. Stay tuned.
I say so in the light of the prevailing situation in Nigeria as a result of the 2023 general elections, which has generated a lot of storm, necessitating the conversation which we are about to indulge in, as there seems to be moves to throw the nation into chaos or conflagration. These may be brought about by some individuals and groups who, fanning the embers of hatred, bigotry, and tribalism, fail to see the possible outcomes of the utterances without caution that are being thrown around. It is human to feel cheated or having the short end of the stick, but one who is not declared a winner at any of the electoral contests, such emotions, however grave, does not justify bringing the roof down, the roof of our nation. The reason is simple, that in such an eventuality, that aggrieved person may not be spared, as the commotion that would ensue would be like an unguided missile which could land anywhere and upon anyone. Therefore, in ventilating our points of view and facts at the electoral tribunals or other courts, a sense of responsibility from all parties is demanded. The situation does not call for the blackmail of the judges or the posting of speculatory hypotheses, giving them such a life of their own, which run riot and accepted by the hapless and innocent in the society as the truth. Knowing the quality of participants at this colloquium, and I am happy those who are well equipped in litigation matters or electoral disputes. Chief Olonegbeku is a master, and our Attorney General, recently sworn in. These are experts. I am confident that having such persons here, including our chief host, Chief J.K. Gazama, there is confidence that at the end of the day, a resetting of the mind would be taking place, and we would keep things in perspective in the full knowledge that elections are seasonal and litigations relating thereto of the same bend. And so, when the seasons are gone, the courts get back to their natural and regular duties of adjudication regarding the affairs and rights of all persons, irrespective of their status in life. J.K. Gazama, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, has called us to this discourse, lest we forget our past, the recent happenings in our country, and the need for a restoration of the ethos and the values for which the founding fathers had set in motion as guide to all of us, young and old, irrespective of the positions we occupy in the society. We all have to get our acts together and rebuild our nation.
All right, in as much as she has said it all, whoever is aggrieved at the tribunal after the judgment of the judges should take his grief and go on with his activities. I just hope she's not saying something that we don't want to hear, but we will always put our fingers crossed and keep our eyes to the ground to see what happens during this final judgment of the tribunal. Let's hope that justice is not subverted. All right, let's hope that justice is not trampled upon. Let's hope that justice is not thrown into thin air. Now, thank you so much for staying with us. I hope you enjoyed our times together. Please like our videos, share them, don't forget to watch till the end, and please, if you're watching me for the first time, tap the notification bell as well as the subscribe button so that we'll always link up anytime I'm on air. See you next time. Bye.